Welcome to Hospitality Meets CRM. I'm Bruno Horta Soares. I'm professor and advisor in digital transformation, particularly in hospitality. Today we'll talk about sustainability and how sustainability is not only a trend, it's something that is business related and at the end something that is directly connected with the expectation of the customer.
And I'm Diogo Rebelo. I manage the HubSpot CRM practice at Find More Solution. Sustainability is about making choices. And CRM helps make those choices actionable, measurable, and feasible.
So, this connection of sustainability and CRM sometimes is what's in about. Sustainability is about environment most of the times in the idea and the expectations of the clients, and CRM is just a tool behind the curtain. When you enter an hotel, and this happens a lot of time, and you see the paper saying, please take care of the environment, please don't waste these, or please take care of the towels. Those are moments of sustainability. But is that actually smart?
I like to be honest. Every time I look at those papers in everywhere, I just think these lads are trying to save some money from the washing or something. You know, you don't feel it like it's genuine. If we look at these, sustainability is very interconnected with efficiency. Mm-hmm. You know, like if you're efficient, optimizing the energy consumption, you're being you're going towards a sustainability goal. You know, so. The word sustainability equals efficiency, trying to make efficient processes, everything, and the communication. If I eliminate printing receipts, and I email the receipt to my customer. How many receipts? I'm never asked in any hotel. Do you want the email? They all print that bloody receipt that is huge, that even for you to take the picture with your phone to expense it is a bloody nightmare, you know? So those are just a simple example. Mm-hmm. And again, we are talking about, you know, those efficiencies that would make the process of checking out or just checking in much faster. It's also generating waste, you know?
That's why most of the times when we think about sustainability, you can come up with use cases, specific use cases, the towels, the water bottles, but you don't have actually a program of sustainability or even a strategy of sustainability. Because if you have, you start to discuss this sense of you have to be more smart in a way, as you mentioned, use the resources you have, whatever resources they are, because you are impacting the use of resources and the sustainable use of the resources. Do you think that the fact that you are collecting more data will allow you to be more intelligent just because you are taking the best decisions based specifically in data and not necessarily in principles or goodwills?
I think so, because first you need data. Like again and again, we need data. If we have data, and let's go back to what we've discussed about AI. So if we more data I collect, I can actually start developing AI programs. If I don't have the capacity to try to come up with ideas or models to, you know, define my sustainability program, you can start training agents, you know, AI agents that will start learning and understanding the data and starting suggesting you things. That's the intelligence we are talking. And again, we need data to feed to the AI. So the AI gives us that intelligence so we can be super powered and take amazing decisions.
I love that sentence that says you have to put the data where your mouth is, because you see lots of hotels and operators in the hospitality saying they care about, they talk a lot, they do report things, but at the end of the day, that's not supported in data. The fact that you are, again, putting the data in a centralized way of viewing it in a CRM, do you see that's a different moment where you start taking decisions independently of the efficiency that you are trying to reach? The fact that the data is centralized or the decisions are being done with centralized data, is there a moment of change for the clients?
I think there is. Again, let's put it again. Going back to our experience in a hotel, you always see the cleaning ladies with the sheet, with the things they need to do.
Checklists,
you know, but it's everything is very manual, and you probably once went to a hotel and arrived earlier. and they need to ring the housekeeper to understand if your room is ready or not. So those are small examples that if all the operations were all connected into a single place, that information could be given straight away. Without wasting the time of it's like the amount of interactions that are completely useless that exist. It's not, unfortunately, it's not only on hospitality, it's in all organizations that you see useless interactions between people in the organization that could be solved by a simple data transparency model,
Because at the end of the day, can we say that the waste is not only environmental waste or resources that are physical? There's actually a waste related with the fact that you don't know the numbers, you don't know the data that allow you to reduce the energy consumption. You don't know what rooms you have booked or not to reduce the consumption. Actually, there was this time that I was working with a client where they were measuring the temperature of the water, because if the type of people, of the clients of the hotel were older or younger, they were changing the temperature because they knew that if the hotel had more older people, probably they were not going to the pool. So the temperature of the pool didn't need to be so high.
Smart.
And that's
a smart
moment
decision,
where you are not showing it, but people feel it, right?
Yeah.
My question is how you convince the clients of HubSpot clients that CRM is the place where you must centralize all that data, because that's the place to be, the data to take the best decisions also in sustainability.
Because that's what CRMs are built for. CRMs are CRM stands for customer relationship management. Is one of those very vague topic terms are, but again, like you can only manage a relationship if you're listening, and listening is recording and is capturing that data. And again, if that example you're giving, we could give other examples. I don't know if hotels do that, because I'm an IT guy. I'm not an operational in hotels. But for instance, if you're filling an hotel with bookings, you possibly start by first floor, second floor, third floor, and you start switching off the lights and the temperatures, and you could have everything optimized in a way that you can minimize your impact when you don't have a full hotel, and exactly. And that example of the pool is brilliant, because you learn, like you're actually serving well the customers, because the elderly people would appreciate a much warmer pool than young lads that they are happy with the cold water or colder water. But at the same time, here you're achieving two things at one time. You are being effective, and you're satisfying your customer. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I think the fact that you are doing these type of sustainable actions or use cases because it's good for the clients is the best way to do it. I see lots of organizations that are reporting sustainability, that at the end of the year, they will collect from Excels and papers and interviews, whatever, data, definitely, that they will use to report to someone else. But maybe in those hotels during the year, the clients were not satisfied. The clients were not being involved in the sense that we care. So I agree that the fact that you are doing a sustainability not because the reporting says so or compliance for compliance, but you are doing because clients care and they actually care in that moment, in that stay, not in the next. You can use data for the next customer or the next client, but if you can interact in real time to that client, you are doing at the same time sustainability, but also a customer experience.
But you need to listen, and you need to create the chances to get customer feedback. And get customer feedback is not only a CSAT or NPS score. It should sometimes it could happen in an interaction with the employee or someone in the hotel. But most of the interactions that happen, there is no culture. If you don't have a culture of customer centric organizations, if imagine you're the concierge, I go there and I ask, I want to see rock shows here in Lisbon. Okay, not only you should serve me, as you should note, Diogo loves rock shows.
Yeah.
You know, okay, this is stupid. But if you don't have, but you need a process to capture this data. You know, and you can be smart about how to collect the data. But these are the things. The organizations need to have a culture to listen, and the CRM is the place to store the data.
And not listening through ears, but listening through data.
Exactly.
Right.
And listen and collect.
Because one of the topics that sometimes come to my mind is the fact that CRM is only associated with this relation between the company and the client, company, client, company, client. But sometimes, in particular in this sustainability, what you feel is that the hotel or the company is doing an effort to show they are sustainable. But for example, the employees are completely out of awareness of these subjects because they are not being involved. You have lots of policies, principles, and even rules to the outside communication, but you don't use that internally. How come a CRM can also be a tool for internal communication so the employees also know who are the clients that are actually that day, in that hour in the hotel?
That's a great question. So if we look at CRM platforms are journey orchestrators. Let's put it this way. So it's a tool that allows us to orchestrate a journey. And of course, it's customer focused. But through the journey of the customer, if I want to give my customer an amazing experience in an amazing journey from beginning till end, there are other touch points that are not only communicational. You know, my stuff is a touch point. Okay, and we should start seeing more. You know, we have email, we have web, we have ads, but we have human people interacting. We talked about the concierge. You know, it's again the same thing. If I have an employee communicating with my customer, I want that communication to make sense regarding the journey I'm addressing. So those two lines of communication in and out, they can be supported by a CRM platform, and they should. You know, it's not only about spamming, you know, and boofing and collecting data. You need to feed. If you want to add efficiency to a process, that knowledge that you're gathering, you feed your team for your team to do exactly the thing. Is you say no reservations on floor 8 today. Operational team gets an email or a message or an app or whatever the platform they use, and they go and they turn off the systems, or it's automated. But it's always the point. You have data, you wanna do something about it, you action, and that action could be an internal communication. It doesn't have to be always communicating with the customer.
So it needs to be a relation between the CRM where the data is much of the touch point data, but also with these workforce management platforms that need to be interacted. Again, you don't need to put the data of the workforce inside the CRM. You just need to orchestrate or at least show the employees that they are a central part of feeling the clients. The clients at the end want more sustainable practices, but you cannot take the employee away. You have to introduce it in the processes, because at the end of the day, you also mentioned, and I want to check that out with you, the fact of the employees themselves be more efficient. Isn't that also a part of the sustainable that you are trying to reach?
Yeah, but like when we talk about workforce management platforms, we could also think, you know, like when we do CRM projects in hospitality, the first integration that has to be made is always the property management system. You know, that's where you hold the reservation data, the operational data, everything. So a CRM doesn't replace a property management system, and it will never. You know, so when we have a CRM, we try to identify which are the surrounding platforms that have meaningful data about the customer in order for me to run my processes. Yep. So what we do is with those tools, we just bring the necessary data to kind of build that, you know, that soup of data, so you can do smarter things. So workforce managements, they do they do what they have to do, but we might need to collect a few of that data about our workforce. If I want to communicate or train or advise or something.
And in a time that we see there's lots of difficulties in the sector to attract people and to have enough people to work, is this also a way to have more flexible work environments, and the fact that people can be more efficient at the end of the day, you will use less resources, and that's also a way for a management look to the business and try to apply the best they can the resources or the few resources they have?
This is possibly not my area of expertise, but I would be pretty sure that the reason why the majority of the hospitality businesses struggle to hire people at the moment is because they don't pay well. Okay, and if you turn your processes more efficient and more sustainable, the savings that can be made not only allows you to reduce costs, have a lesser need of more manpower, and that could also help you to pay a bit more, and still save money in the end, and possibly they would attract. But again, we go back to the same thing. It's collecting data, making decisions.
There's one way I see it most of the times when I look to business models. There's always a good way to see it. You always associate the fact that the sustainability and efficiency will reduce your costs. Just as you mentioned, people want to reduce their costs. But the fact that you are positioned CRM, you are putting the organizations in a more challenging position. That is, you not only reduce costs, but because you are working CRM, the communication, interaction with clients, the type of way of relations you can do, the type of channels, you are working also in the revenue side. Yeah. So you are not just dumping the costs, you are trying to, even if you stay with the same costs, you can increase the revenues and you can go further just because you have more data. That's why I think that sometimes if you go for more operational platforms, you tend to be more related with transactions, more with costs. But if you think that every cost that you want to save, you want to give it back in some way, in a way of interacting or a value that you want to give to the client, that's a way of pressure. This is not reducing cost. This is increasing value.
Yeah, listen, in hospitality, it's common, like, for instance, here in Lisbon, like, you have 2-star hostels. And you have 5-star hotels, and the difference between those two type of properties is the price first and the service that you get. So I think again, there is a mix, and and the value that is perceived by the customer is related to different topics. And again, I think more we learn, more we know, better decisions we make. And I'm saying this 20 times today.
At the end, Diogo, there's always this sense in the top management or the management of a chain or an hospitality that is, we need to make sustainable profitable, and somehow there's need to be a return on investment. And sometimes when you discuss sustainability, what I feel is organizations only look inside. They are collecting the data, they are doing these campaigns, they are doing the best they can, but they are not necessarily looking to the ecosystem around. The fact that the CRM system can collect through APIs or other type of connections, collect that data, can also contribute to more efficient and more sustainable practices inside the hotel or the organization?
I totally agree. Again, more data, better decisions. If we look, for instance, the topic of smart cities, okay? So the smart cities model have a layer of data that is shared for other businesses, and it's open standards that you can collect. For instance, traffic data. Some cities share the models of traffic, and for instance, that information can be used to feed my customer. And if my customer, I could have a digital signage at the exit of my hotel saying, if you're going to Baixa, don't take a cab or a Uber. Go use the underground, because not only we will arrive earlier, it will be more sustainable. So there is platforms like HubSpot, once again, they could be connected to this type of rendering that information and showing that information to the customers. And again, it doesn't have to be the digital signage only. It could be like an alert in bigger events, communication that you can send via text message or RCS message, a topic that we discussed already. And so I think those type of interactions are ways of using external data to bring sustainability.
Yep. So at the end of the day, there's a use case that is connected with this kind of collaborative analytics. That is the sense that you cannot, you are not only taking the decisions based on your data, you are actually trying to evolve. You just mentioned the sense of smart cities and the fact that you are aware that you are in an environment, you are doing the best you can to be more sustainable, but you are also concerned with the environment, with the city, for example. The fact that you are centralizing that connections with the outside, with the CRM, again, will position the decisions. At the end of the day, everything is about the client at the center, and that's what you are showing. You are showing that the client is at the center, the client inside the hotel or outside the hotel or wherever it is in the city is at the center. Is that the sense that you are having when you are positioning the CRM as this orchestrator of collaborative analytics?
It is because it's always related to what the customer is doing in your business, and your business, all the businesses depend on their own customers. There's no business without customers. So the process has to be always centered and focused on the customer. But then what you were asking about the using external data to make these decisions, I think it depends on the ambition of the organization to take a sustainability process further. Like if we think about this, we do CRM projects in hospitality. Okay, I just help managing reservation teams, and that's a fraction of a journey. Yeah. And some hospitality businesses, rather by budget or other reasons that I don't know, decide to don't take these initiatives as serious. As I work with other hospitality groups, that they take the step further. They care about the full journey. So if you're talking about putting a sustainability program in your organization, again, if you want to be serious, you're going to bring more data. So the external data will help you do things that are ahead of everyone else that is just looking at their own data, because again, more data, more possibilities,
So it's definitely about waste. It's not only resource waste, it's efficiency in a general way. It's the fact that you are not wasting time, you are not wasting the relationship. At the end, this is about trust, because you want the client not only be involved in your principles of sustainability, you want them to believe you are really caring, and if you show them that you are taking the best decisions, again, the smartest decisions, I think the clients will also understand that's not greenwashing. That's definitely people care about it.
Yeah, but I think this sustainability, if it's taken serious by an organization, it should be part of the values of an organization. Okay, let's put it this way. I like one. I think we all heard this story about Walt Disney and how Disney creates amazing experiences, and I had a chance to be there in an IT event, and I was told a story about the service the service ladies that clean the rooms if they would find a Mickey Mouse teddy, they would put it inside the bed with the sheet on top. But no one asked those women to do that. It's because the value that was built into the people was to give a better experience to the customer. So if sustainability is important for a business, it has to be part of their core values, and if it's part of their core values, then we go in. They need to be communicated to the employees. The employees need to be immersed into those values. Otherwise, it's fake, But if people believe, there will be spontaneous acts of sustainability that were not even planned.
So I think we can conclude that sustainability in hospitality is not about reducing the impact. It's about being more relevant, and actually being relevant and being relevant together, as we said, with the employees, with the customers, but with the ecosystem as a whole.
Yeah, it's orchestrating efficiency in processes, you know?
And data is in the center.
Exactly.
Okay.